Bream bait 102. Damn it, Black Warrior Lure. Somebody asked me to show them my quote-unquote black soldier fly farm. Now, what I'm about to show you, just get ready to be surprised. You never have to, especially if you live in the country, you never have to worry about brim bait, especially once it gets hot in the summer. So what we're gonna do is show you one of the beds that I have. I just undid this yesterday and it shocked the heck out of me, but let me show you. Look at that. Can you see that? Some in there. Can you see that? That's tens of thousands of black soldier fly larvae eating wheat chum. Okay, and they are, a lot of these guys are trying to, some of them are getting out because they're ready to morph. It's time for me to build a bigger one. And let me show you, if you've seen the video where I make my own chum, this is the catfish chum. So I'll try to make a link to the video on catfish chum. And this is where it starts out. And it's still boiling off after all these weeks here. What I do is take chum, put it in here, little yeast in it, fill it up with water, and let it sour. And then ideally what you would do is drain all that water off and let maggots come in, let the black soldier fly come and get in there. But what I do is I'll take it out of there, put it into a little 5-gallon bucket like this, and I just leave it cracked like that. I got it completely sealed off now, but I'll leave it cracked just about like that, just big enough for the soldier flies to get into. They lay eggs, and then you end up with that. Well, they're headed for the hills now because they don't like light. That's why I keep the bucket on. So they're already they're headed for the hills. So, and that's what I do there. What we need to do next is, I got several more of these sorts of buckets, and I'm going to take, I got it cut in half, and we're going to just take this whole thing and put it in there, and we can make a whole thing of them. Now let's go up here to the boat and let me show you what I have on the boat. I have something very similar here, except this is my chum, couple of chum buckets. Now it does attract ants. It seems it does. Ants will get in, but you can see the same basic thing, right? Just same sort of basic thing, except this is just chum that I have here. And these guys are still asleep, looks like. They're not really up and going. This one's starting to get very mature, but not as many in here, right? And they're both chum buckets, and just the same basic thing. I'll just put some in here and just put it out here on the boat. Same thing in here. Look at there. That's just pure D. Just totally dried out. You can see there. And just be careful with there's ants in it, so just be careful. See, they've completely devoured a lot of that soft matter. So it's almost become like a bedding for them. And so, I mean, just tens of thousands of these in here now. And the thing about black soldier fly, the number one thing you need is a canopy. You see how we have the oak trees here, got pine trees there. You need some sort of canopy because that's where the black soldier flies live. They don't eat anything because they don't have mouths. The reason they morph is to go up into the trees, mate, and then the females smell rotting stuff and come down and lay their eggs in it, and this is what you get here. Okay, and there's some nice ones there. And I have not found a better bluegill or brim bait than that. It's a good bait to catch bait that'll catch catfish. That's my system, that's my plan, that's what I need to do. I just need to get some sonar on this boat so I can actually really start to mark fish and see where they are. But you can chum this stuff, and this is a chum. This one's almost empty. There's hardly any real, see, look at that. There's hardly any chum in it, anything in them for them to eat now. So we need to kind of think about, okay, let's take these, transfer them out. Just be careful, there are ants. It will, but the fly themselves are not pests. They don't, as far as I know, they don't carry disease. They don't eat. And so all they do is find things like this, rotten places like this, lay their eggs, and then that's what they do. Then they just die after they do that. They don't live long as flies. The majority of their lives are like this. And the reason this works so well is because these little guys, if you've, I know a lot of guys who try to make their own baits and stuff, you've probably tried to grow red worms and all that kind of stuff, and probably found that, my gosh, these stinking red worms just take up, red worms just take up, they can't take the heat. Same thing with mealworms. They just can't take the heat. These guys love the heat. In fact, they don't start really making until it gets hot outside. They seem to be able to take the heat, and they like the heat, and so they just don't like light that much. And so that's why they bury down. That's the great thing. You can leave it open. They just simply burrow down into the stuff. And so if you're looking for a good brim bait, this is what I would recommend. Now, if I'm out here in the country, so you understand it will stink. And so if you're living in an apartment, what you may want to do is go ahead and buy you some wheat. You could probably do it with rice as well, or anything that's sort of souring like this, and just find you kind of a wooded area and just set you up a little bucket like this with an empty bucket on top like I had, and let it sour, and then just go set it out in the middle of the woods somewhere. If you have like a wooded area near your apartment, you can go set it up there and just kind of keep it out of sight. You maybe want to paint the bucket too, keep it out of sight so it won't attract attention or whatever. And then just, it only takes a couple weeks for them to set in, if there's any in your area. It only takes a couple of weeks for them to find it. They'll set it in, and ecologically this is a very good thing, because these guys make compost. A lot of people use them for compost. A lot of people use them to feed their fish that are in their ponds and stuff. But I use it for bait and chum, quite frankly. So it's a good deal. So go and do likewise, and I'll talk to you guys later. That's a quick sort of overview of how I do it. It's very simple, very small. Get you a couple of 5-gallon buckets. Get your chum going. Once that chum sours after a few days, just take it out, drain off all the water, and then put another bucket on top of it. Just keep it cracked so that the black soldiers can get down in it. They'll lay eggs. In a few weeks you'll have more bait than you can ever use in a season. I mean, there's more bait in this bucket here than I can use in a whole season. So between this, and what you've seen down there, I mean, you'll just never run out of bait. Except for when it's cold. They don't like the cold. So in wintertime, they'll either die off, or they'll probably just hibernate. And then they'll just start up the next spring when it gets hot again. So, but anyway, there you go. Brim bait 101, or bluegill bait 101, shellcracker bait 102. I guess this is the 102 class. I already have the 101 video posted. And there you go. I will see you guys later. If you want a good float that you can fish these things with, check out my floats. I'm willing to send you one. Try it out for yourself. And I'll put the link there so you can go get it. And I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.